So we're going to have a bit of a different one today. I know most of the videos I posted recently have been vlog style insights into my personal life, which I do really want this channel to be about, and I love sharing that. I love making the memories, and I love bringing you along for the journey. But I get a lot of questions about sports nutrition, and especially because I post a lot of that on my Instagram page. And if you're not following me already, go and follow me. But I thought I would do a little bit more of like a tips and tricks, but insight into my own nutrition. So using that as an example and something that I get asked every second DM or comment to do. So last week I tracked everything I ate. And for a bit of background, I do not track my food. I used to in the past, and I also work as a dietitian. So I can roughly know how many calories and kind of protein and carbs are in each food. I'm not a walking calorie calculator. I don't know it exactly, but I can get some kind of gauge and know where I'm going. But I haven't tracked my food in a while. And honestly, I thought it would be kind of fun to do, to see how much I'm actually eating, but also to share with you, to show you like how far I've come and how much food you can actually eat to perform well, feel happy, and be healthy. What I did is I wrote it all down in a notebook during the day, and then I tracked it on MyFitnessPal. Yes, the dreaded MyFitnessPal. We all got nightmares when we were downloading that one. But I tracked it in a notebook, and then I tracked it at the end of the day, just so I wasn't making any changes subconsciously during the day after seeing how much it was, if that makes sense. Like, I didn't want to be like, oh, I need more protein, or oh, I've had too many carbs today. Like, I wanted to just do it at the end of the day so I kind of knew. So I did that, and I'm also going to share what training I did. So I thought it'd be fun to walk through the week and see what my calories were, carbs, protein, fats, what my training was, and I'll kind of explain my approach to each kind of day during the week to see how it can help you and your mindset and your approaches towards fueling. If I look down at my iPad, it's because I've got everything on there. I don't have it all in my head. So starting off strong on Monday. Monday is one of my biggest workout days. This is my tempo threshold day. I do that first, then I will go to the gym to do a short lift, a full day of work, and then I will cross train in the afternoon. So Monday was 3,500 calories almost. Ignore the goal, by the way. That's just like, you know, when you put in your height and weight and activity and it spits out a random number. I couldn't work out how to get rid of that or change it, so I just left it. But ignore the goal. We're focusing on where it says food. That's what I actually ate. And as you can see, the distribution was around 60% carbs, 20% protein, 20% fat, give or take. So as I say, Monday is my biggest day. The real focus is on carbohydrates. Before the run, I'm trying to eat around 80 to 100 grams of carbohydrates, really focusing on those simple, easy to digest carbs, hydrating, and I have caffeine as well because it's before a workout. During the run, I've actually been taking on a gel, more to practice taking on a gel when I'm running fast because that's something I really struggle with. So it's never something I used to do, and now I'm doing it. And not only is it helping me improve that when I'm going towards the marathon and wanting to be able to fuel when I'm running fast, but I actually have found I've been recovering and performing a lot better when taking that gel. So it's definitely something I will do moving forwards. When I do a run and then a lift after, I will always have some protein and carbs in between. Usually I will have a protein shake and a banana, but it can change. It can be chocolate milk, it can be like an energy bar, it can be yogurt parfait, kind of just making sure I get some protein, some carbohydrates in, and then I will go and lift, have my breakfast, and then continue meals throughout the day. So like I said, Mondays are really focusing on carbohydrates. I still need to get those quality proteins in, some fruits and vegetables, some fats, but carbohydrates are really key. And sometimes that means not so nutrient dense carbohydrates, but that's okay. With these hard workouts, you often have tempo tummy, you've not got the appetite. So I just kind of have to eat more off a schedule rather than what I'm kind of hungry for. If I'm hungry for more, I will have that. But most of the time, I kind of just have to tell myself, now is time for a snack. Now is time for dinner. Moving on to Tuesday. Tuesday is a recovery day. It's my midweek long run. So I've again been starting to take a gel on this run. This one isn't to practice, although it can help, but I'm running slowly. It's more because I found I was starting to get a little like tired and losing energy towards the end of the run. And also I wasn't recovering that well the rest of the day. So I found that if I take this gel on, I'm not depleting my glycogen stores as much as I was before, and it just helps me recover a bit better and feel better at the end of the run. So this is an easy pace. It's still a longer run. I'll do some quick rehab, and then I have a full day of work. Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays, I'm in person in a clinic, so I have to go to a clinic and I pack all my food. Mondays and Wednesdays, currently, I have a remote clinic from home. This may be changing, but that's how it works at the moment. So Tuesday was just under 3,200, and around the similar distribution, a little bit more protein, a little bit less fat, not intentionally, just that's the way it fell. Like I said, this is all retrospective. But this is the days when I can focus on more of those nutrient-dense foods. So the whole grains, the healthy fats, the fruits and vegetables, using whole foods rather than packaged foods, just like you can get those nutrients in because you're not like haven't got a poor appetite. I often find I'm quite hungry on these recovery days, so I can really focus on getting that in. I pack all my food when I go to the clinics just because it's easier. It's cheaper, but it's also easier to know I've got that food there. I have all my snacks that I know I need to eat, all my lunch, and it's just ready to go. I also make sure that I'm eating enough on this day. So I probably didn't need 3,200 calories, but I know I have a big workout again the next day, and I'm also still recovering from a big workout the day before. So I know that I need to be eating well to be able to continue to recover and perform well the next day. All right, so Wednesday, like I said, is my other workout of the week. This is just because it's my work from home days, so it means that I have a little bit more time in the morning because I haven't got to commute, and also I can be sitting down a little bit more and I can have more access to different foods if I'm feeling like I want a different food that I haven't packed. So this is my track session. I just run to the track, do the track, come back. I don't take a gel on this one. Probably should, but it's not one I've been thinking about, and I'm going a bit too fast to be taking a gel for that. Again, come back, have the snack, go and do a lift. It's a similar structure to Monday, just different style workout and slightly shorter run in the morning. So this was just under 3,350. Similar again, distribution, a little bit more fats. That was probably the eggs I had at lunch compared to chicken that I would have on the other days. But yeah, similar, around 60-20-20 with some minor differences. This is very similar to Monday, focusing on those carbohydrates, very quick release before the run because I know I've got to run fast, and then replenishing after because then obviously I have a double in the afternoon, but also just making sure I restore those glycogen stores, and with a low appetite, it's focusing on a schedule and regimen rather than appetite. Thursday, also my birthday, so happy birthday to me. 3,100, so this again is recovery day. I do a shorter, easier run in the morning, and then I have clinic. That's the one where I cycle. It's like a 20-minute cycle there and back, super easy, nice and flat, but I do cycle there and back, and then I have a shorter cross train in the afternoon. Again, similar distribution, a little bit more protein, a little bit less carbs, but still having those carbs in there. This Like Tuesday is focusing on those nutrient-dense foods, those whole foods, just so I can get those nutrients in, but still making sure I meet those carb, protein, fat, and calorie needs. Friday, Halloween, I did not go trick-or-treating, unfortunately. It did feel like I was in a haunted house with the day I had. Pretty miserable, pretty stressful. Things weren't going too well. Things still aren't going too well, but things were pretty bad on that day, and I felt like I was in some haunted house. So I guess I got that. And that probably is reflective of why my calories are a little bit lower. So I do have, this is probably my shortest, easiest day of the week, whatever you want to say. I just have a run in the morning, and then I actually, well, I don't drive. I go in an Uber to clinic at a different location. So I don't cycle on these days. But normally I try and be eating a little bit more. However, as I said, I was very stressed, and I know that stress is a big precipitator of me to not eat well because I kind of just have too many things going on. I don't think about it. My appetite goes down. And honestly, I use it as a little bit of a control mechanism when things are out of control, which I know is something bad and something I need to continue to work on. I've got so much better at it. But that's probably why it's like 100 or 200 calories less than the other days. So I guess learning lesson from this, and I'm telling myself this right now, is emotions shouldn't necessarily drive what you're eating. And recognizing that, I know now moving forward, I'm probably going to have multiple more stressful days going into this month. I need to still be fueling well, because I did notice the next day I was not feeling as great as I should have done, and that's probably because my fueling was subpar on the Friday. But again, it was around the 60-20-20 when you look at the distribution. Saturday, long run day. So I'm now doing longer runs and also workouts within my long runs, but specifically focusing on the fueling during the runs, because I know without that, I'm not going to get to the end of the marathon. If you're not fueling well, you're going to hit that wall. So I really need to make sure I'm getting that in. I'm trying different kinds of gels at the moment. I still haven't found what I want to use. I think today I used a Morton, a Goo, a Cadence, and a Honey Stinger. Morton, unfortunately, as much as I'd love to like it because the technology is great, I couldn't deal with the chewing. Like, when chewing when you're running fast was extremely hard. Goo I've used for a while now, and they do sit okay, sometimes cause stomach issues, but I do like them. Honey Stinger, I'm still not sure. I feel like it causes stomach issues, but I'm not sure, so I might leave that one off. In Cadence, I did really like it. It was more of a liquidy form, so I don't take water when I run. I just use the water stations if I need it, and I think that helped to go down, like, compared to the Morton that just I couldn't deal with the chewing. So 4 gels during this run, 33 kilometers. I had 8 kilometers, then a 1 kilometer jog, then 5 kilometers, then a 1 kilometer jog, then 2 kilometers, each getting a little bit faster for each block, and then just easy the rest. So again, really focusing on those carbohydrates pre-run, optimizing that snack a little bit more because I know I need those carbs. And then afterwards, getting those quick carbohydrates and protein in to recover. I had my famous protein pancakes, which were delicious, covered in honey and fruit. Snack throughout the day, having my regular meals, and keeping hydrated. Again, this is a bit like the workout days, really making sure I get those carbohydrates back in to restore the glycogen, even if I'm not feeling that hungry because I've got tempo tummy or whatever, feeling stressed. I was off my feet most of the day because honestly I was exhausted, and just did a little bit of light mobility and sauna in the afternoon. But yeah, still making sure to fuel and having those more quick carbs, processed foods if you need to, just to get the energy in, because it's better to get the energy in rather than having to have the perfect diet. And that moves us on to Sunday, which was a full rest day. It's something I've started doing. I wasn't doing full rest days before just because it was easier for me to split it throughout the week, but now I'm able to run more mileage on each run. I can have that full rest day, which I've really been enjoying. But as you can see, 2,900 calories. I definitely didn't burn that much. But as you can see, 2,900 calories, I'm not restricting on these rest days. It was definitely something I used to fall for in the past. I was like, why do I need to eat more if I'm not training? But your body is working so hard internally. And I know that if I don't eat well today, I'm going to feel terrible in the coming week when I do my workouts. So it's super, super important to feel well on those rest days. Yes, you can focus more on those whole foods. I do. I try to have minimal packaged foods. I may have some, but really focusing on those whole foods, but that doesn't mean restriction. It's still having those complex carbs, that protein, that those healthy fats, the fruits and vegetables. And honestly, I'm normally pretty hungry on these days because my body's kind of catching up. Maybe I've not eaten enough the day before, even though I am really pushing for that. But I just allow that. I listen to the hunger. I spend a lot of time in the fridge picking little snacks and things out the cupboard, but that just works. I now listen to my body. I don't try and ignore it like I used to and be like, no, you can't be right. You can't need food. You're not doing anything. Like, literally, I just did some walks and like cleaning and stuff today. I wasn't doing anything crazy. And I know people call it a rest day and then go on like a 5-hour hike. That's not a rest day. You can go on a 5-hour hike, but don't call it a rest day. Like, you've got to kind of have that judgment of like a rest day is rest. Fine to go on a short walk, move your legs. I know I need it for my mental health, but don't overdo it on the rest day because it's just not worth it. And then again, I have a big pasta dinner every Sunday night because I know I have that big workout on Monday. It's just something I will religiously do because I know it works for me. I know I need those carbs, but I also know it sits well in my stomach. I'll have a bedtime snack, and then I'm feeling great the next day. I'm not feeling exhausted like I used to the day after rest day and wonder why I wasn't recovered. And once again, similar ratio of macronutrients. Honestly, it doesn't change. Just because it's a rest day doesn't mean you don't need carbohydrates either. You shouldn't be having just like 50% protein. And your reminder that having tuna, a salad, and roasted pumpkin is not a balanced meal. Roasted pumpkin is a vegetable, which does not count as carbohydrates for athletes. You need to be having potato, rice, bread, pasta with that to make it a balanced meal. So don't neglect the carbs. They can be more whole grain carbs if you want to. That's absolutely fine. But if you prefer white pasta, white bread, white rice, don't worry about it. Just maybe not like gels on a rest day. You probably don't need a gel. And hydrate really well, because that's important to make sure you set yourself up for the next day. So that is everything that I tracked and did last week. I know it's not a full day of eating like you all want, but we're still working towards that 5,000 subscribers. So when you get there, we will do a full day of eating. But for now, I thought it'd be fun to kind of just show you and almost show myself how far I've come, that I'm eating over double what I used to eat. And I am not much heavier, but I'm running so much faster, over 5 minutes faster in the half marathon. My paces are so much faster. I feel so much healthier. I feel so much happier. I actually have energy to do things during the day and be a normal person and have character and confidence on social media and in my job, and be present with the people I'm around instead of being exhausted all the time. So yeah, this is your reminder that food should not be something you're scared of. It should be something to fuel you both in your performance but also in your daily life. Just because online things say women shouldn't eat more than 1,800 calories, that's not right, firstly. And secondly, especially not for athletes. As you can see, I was averaging well over 3,000 calories this week, and I haven't gained weight. I weighed myself at the beginning of the week, I weighed myself at the end. They were literally almost the same. So I have not gained weight, and I've eaten that. The food side of things, polarize your days like you polarize your training. You have the hard days, which are high carb, really simple carb, focusing on those gels and pre-workout, post-workout. Then you have the easier days where you can focus more on nutrient-dense foods. Long runs, you're focusing on getting the gels during the run. Rest days, you're still fueling. Like you wouldn't do the same training every day of the week, so you wouldn't do the same food every day of the week, but as you can see, it's still pretty similar because each day has a purpose. And ignore the calorie thing on your watch. I wish I'd actually maybe looked at that, because that will tell you on your easy days you're not burning anything, you don't need to eat anything, but it doesn't take into account the internal repair and metabolism that's going on. So I guess to sum it all up, food is fuel for your performance, your health, and your happiness. And don't fear it, because life is too short to fear a piece of bread. But I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know down below if you like this kind of video or you want to see more of the vlogs. I honestly want this to be what you guys want, because that's what it's for. Yes, it's documenting for me, but I also want it to be insightful for you all and be completely honest. Or other videos you want to see, let me know down below. But make sure to subscribe, hit the bell so you know when I'm posting, because I know I'm a little bit sporadic at the moment with my work schedule, but I'm working on that. And share with a friend. That's your homework for today. Share with a friend who might benefit from seeing this. So that's all for now, and I will see you in the next video.